Hello again and welcome everybody. Jake here with you for part 2 of our TOS build. Just going to take you quickly today and show you what I've gotten done so far on this. I've been pretty busy trying to get some stuff done. I've got to deliver a couple of ships to a guy, and so I'm trying to get that stuff finished up, and then in the meantime trying to get some of this stuff done. But from the last time that we you saw me, the last video, we were working on the neck. So what we did is after I got that done, I let the two halves dry, and then I went through and sanded, and went through and then did my putty work. And you can see right here we have I had a little gap here and a little bit at the top. Now I like this 3M spot glaze putty because this is a really good putty, because it will, it's easily sandable. Now it will shrink, it will sink down in the cracks, and you'll may have to do it, put a couple layers on at a time, but it does work really well. It's one of my go-to putties, especially on parts that are not load bearing, and which this is not a load bearing seam here. So we got all this sanded down and put together, and we have all of our lights tied together now, so it eliminates a lot of wiring that's going to have to go down into the secondary hull, and we still have to bring our wiring from the saucer down into the secondary hull. So we got to kind of keep the wiring to a minimum. So, but that's all done and ready now. That's ready to go, and we'll mount this on the ship later. Going to the secondary hull here again, following Boyd's instructions, went through and got all my glass in place, got it glued down, and got all of it light, all the spots that need to be blacked out. I sprayed this one outside the while it was still on the sprue, and we have our spots here that are going to be blacked out. So, and then what I did is after that, I went through and sprayed some white craft acrylic paint, which is the Anita's white craft acrylic paint, and I just put it in a little bottle, thinned it down with some water, and sprayed it on until we got a good coat on there. Now, when you first spray it on this plastic and stuff, guys, it's gonna separate a little bit. So when that happens, don't panic. Just let it dry for a second or two, and then go back through and add a couple of more coats until it's good and light block. Now, be careful when you do this back here, because there is a let me get my fat fingers out of the way here. There is a window back here that's got is a green window. So you don't want to get paint across that, like it accidentally happened here. But if that did, being that this is craft acrylic paint, you could probably just take an alcohol swab and just kind of just wipe that off to get it paint free. But as you can see here, I started laying in my lighting for my my interior lighting for this. And got all that run to the front, and we'll eventually get all this tied together. That way we don't have a big mess of wire. The trick is, guys, to keep the amount of wire down to a minimum without having this big old huge plate of spaghetti sticking out of the front. And so we did the same thing as we did on the neck to the pylons. And my client did not want the windows lid on the pylon, so I blacked them out. We got it together and dried, and we did the same thing, puttied on either sides here. There wasn't really too many bad issues with it, but on the other one, but this one had some issues here. Again, there had a big gap right there due to the fact that the plastic was warped, and I had to go in there and fill that out. But we got all that ready to go, got that down in there, and I got it glued, and we're going to get ready to run the wire later. I'm going to do this side separately, and then we'll go through and do the other side with installing the lighting and all that kind of stuff next week. But I just wanted to get a quick video in, and I know I was talking about that surprise for at the end of the video, but I wanted to go ahead and show it to you, and let me get it out here. This is the big surprise for this video that means a lot to me, as I was getting it, for this my client here. This is the reason why I went on ahead and did the saucer, and we got it together and lit and everything, and got it all painted, got all the decals on it, and so here it is, guys. Let me see if I can't pick up the. See if I can't pick up the camera without. You might be able to see it here. Let me get it in there. But what do we have here, guys? Right here, my client went to Ticonderoga and had William Shatner sign the top saucer. On one side, William Shatner, and the other side was his stage name, Captain Kirk. So this is a very cool build for me, guys, and we're going to do the very best we can to make this ship look very as good and clean and well made as I can possibly get it. I got to give myself, I got to put 110% into this, as well as I do, with all my other kits. I got to make sure that, we go through and we don't have any seam lines. That's the most important thing, guys, to remember on these kits. Don't rush through them. You want to take your time and make sure your seam lines are nice and squared away to where they're not showing. Sometimes on these ships, that especially on this one, happened to get a good one here this time, where the saucer seam, the top saucer met the bottom saucer really well without that step in there. And like I said, guys, this is a very special build for me, one of a kind. I really enjoy working on it. And then he went back a month later and had Sulu sign it, George Takei, and he signed it Lieutenant Hikaru Sulu. So this is going to be a very special thing for my client. He's going to enjoy this forever, I hope. And so that's why we're doing this on video. I went on ahead and decided to show this because I just couldn't wait anymore. I was just biting at the bits to get this done, to show it to y'all, and I just couldn't wait anymore. But we're going to put this back away until we get ready to mount the saucer onto the ship, and we're going to go from there. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't very much. We didn't do any work on it this time, but I just wanted to quickly go through and show you something. Next week, probably Monday or so, I'll go through and do another video where we're showing you the work, how we lay in the lighting for the secondary hull, and go from there. So give you one more good look up close to the signatures here. You can see Captain Kirk, and then the other side is William Shatner. As y'all know, that he went into space for a little bit, so now this is going to be something rare. And then we have, I'm going to spin this around, we have George Takei on one side, and then Captain Lieutenant Sulu. The reason I keep saying Captain Sulu is because in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, he was captain of the Excelsior. So, but which we're going to be building for my client when I get this one done. So, but anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I just wanted to take a few minutes to show you what's going on lately, and we're gonna again, guys, we're the biggest thing on these kits, because you want these things to last, is you want to take your time and put in every bit of your effort, as much effort as you can possibly do, making sure your seam work is good. The thing about me is I will never send out something to my clients without me liking it. If I'm not happy with it, I don't send it out. And so I make sure that I put 110, 120% into everything I do. And that's the thing that you want to do, guys. If you're looking into starting doing commission builds and stuff like that, you want to make sure that you take your time. Get a few builds under your belt first before you start taking on builds, because it can be very tasking to do, and the better you become, the more work you'll get, and you'll start enjoying it more. That way it's not so intense and strenuous and all that kind of stuff to where you're worrying about all of it. So, but we want to make sure, guys, that you know, we take our time on these kits and do them right. Don't rush through them, especially the refit. The refit's one of those ships that on a basic build, it can take anywhere from 6 to 9 months up to a year on some of these kits that I do, simply for the fact that they're just so intense and a lot of modifications that have to be done to those kits. That's one of the reasons why I like the TOS, is because it's simple. There's not a whole lot of stuff that you have to do to it. You may have to clean some flash up around the windows and all that kind of stuff, which I did, and I do that with all my kits. Go through and clean up all the flash out of the windows, get them you know, proper sized and everything. That way, when you put your glass in, you won't have issues with them either sitting back too much and not being able to. You want them to be set just a little bit back. You don't want them sticking out. So that's the important thing, guys, is to take your time and enjoy these models. Don't rush through them, guys. So, but anyway, we'll be back next week with another video on part 3 on wiring the interior lighting, and go from there, guys. So I hope y'all are doing good out there with everything. I just want to say thanks to all the subscribers, the new subscribers that have come in. We're now over 17,000 views, and I appreciate that, guys. That means a lot to me. So hope we can continue this for a long time to come. So until then, guys, we'll see you next week on a new video, and go from there, guys. So take care, stay safe, and happy modeling, everybody.